What is up, YouTube? It's your boy SmackNPie here, aka The Guy here, and welcome to another Walking Dead, the final season video. Not just any video, a collaboration / theory video with someone really special, someone I wanted to collab with for such a long time. Today's guest is very special, and we share a lot in common. No, not really. And that is Sif Masri. Introduce yourself to the world.
Hello everybody, my name is SIF, but my YouTube name goes by SIF Masri. What is up everybody? I'm SIF, of course. Thank you so much, Smack, for obviously allowing me to collaborate with you. Great seeing, collaborations between YouTubers, especially in the TELLTALE community where it's already so strong. But yeah, of course, I also do Walking Dead videos. Of course, make sure to even check me out, and if you like it, subscribe. If not, at least check the videos out. But yeah, of course, we're going to have a saucy discussion for you guys tonight.
Exactly. And before I begin, this person is so special. Not because of, the Walking Dead channel. Of course, every Walking Dead channel is special. But 2 points I want to talk about this guy. Number one, he's known as British Inferno. And Inferno is American SIF. So that's number one. And number two, this boy got shout out kinda by PewDiePie. What happened there? Can we talk about that just a second?
So of course, one of my videos did rather well, I suppose you could say. It was talking about Lily's return and how it's pretty much 100% confirmed. And then Lily PewDiePie didn't remember who Lily was, and of course searched it up. My video came, little shout out, kinda not, but I did get some attention for a while.
Wow. I was not salty, because if he just searched that in YouTube, I would be number 2nd. My video was popping in search at that time. Number 2nd, I would have been there, but nah. It's all about luck, but I was this close to getting noticed by PewDiePie. Anyways, all jokes aside, this is gonna be interesting, juicy video, so make sure to give this video a big like. Let's see if we can get this video to 500 likes, and without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Now to start off, we're just gonna start right after the episode 3 ending. As you all know, we're talking about Violet and Minerva and their role in episode 4. We're not talking about a separate Violet role for episode 4. We're just talking about a Violet and Minerva relationship and their role with everyone and for the plot and story. So we need to keep few points in mind before we actually begin. Number one is that no matter what you choose in episode 2 ending, no matter you save Violet or save Lewis, Violet is still gonna stay down with Minerva, and after that she's nowhere to be seen. Same goes with Minerva, but Minerva, she's brainwashed and she's no help. Don't expect anything from her. She's a no-go. She's dead from inside. No brain cells, no nothing. So that's a couple of points that we'll have to keep in mind before we actually begin. And now, when it comes to collaborations, it's 90% of the time it's me speaking. So this time I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna start with our guest and I'm gonna give him the spotlight. And I'm gonna ask you, just start off, just a couple of sentences. What do you think is gonna happen to Violet and Minerva, regardless of whether Violet betrayed you, sorta, or Violet was your relationship couple, whatever? What do you think is gonna happen to both Minerva and Violet, because they were down at the prison section and we were up with Lily and the other people? What do you think is gonna happen right after that?
Wow, okay, well, of course, Minerva, considering and hoping, of course, that she is alive, we should talk about, of course, her character. So, of course, she's got the whole brainwash scenario. And in episode 4, I can see this going one of 2 ways in terms of Minerva's role. And that is a redemption path, or she's going to continue having this Delta loyal path. Is she finally going to realize how brainwashed she was? This would potentially place her in an anxiety attack as she realizes the evil that she has done, such as betraying to her sister. And of course, this wouldn't sit right with Violet, of course. So Violet, of course, was not very happy, and it's fair to say that she was angry with, of course, Minerva when she obviously found out that she killed her sister. Now, this is quite interesting because we've never had like a brainwashed character scenario in The Walking Dead. So this would, of course, in my opinion, place a very huge role on Minerva's role. This would make her like have this very mental kind of thing with her. Perhaps similar to Sarah in season 2, but like I said, this is going to be to a higher level in my opinion. I can see her, of course, Minerva could be secluded from the rest of the kids, including Violet, as of course they might find her to be very different, completely different. We have the old Minnie versus this new Minnie kind of scenario going on, in my opinion, which is going to be kind of interesting. Of course, we haven't met Minnie before the boarding school kind of scenario happen. So we're going to get more information about Minerva from other characters, and how, of course, she obviously changed from this old Minerva to this new Minerva, who, you know, is kind of brainwashed. Of course, unless she does a whole redemption path, which, of course, you know, you're going to have her, in a way, kind of try to make up for all the bad that she's done, such as killing her sister. And, you know, will Violet obviously be a supporting character for her, or will she actually go against her and be like, no, this is bad, I don't like you anymore, I don't want to associate with you anymore? Of course, it just depends on the scenario, in my opinion. So Minerva, either she's going to have a redemption path, or she's going to stay Delta loyal. And for Violet's role, in my opinion, she's either going to support Minerva in obviously trying to make her, you know, be comforted and console her, or she's going to be totally against her because of her actions previously.
Great. You bring up a lot of good points that requires a specific video on their own. But the second point that you made, the last second point that you made about Violet going against her, because if you think about it, and if you go back to episode 3, Violet is still with Minerva in both cases. It just bugs me a lot. I don't know why. Violet, we need you. Please leave her. We can talk after. But no, in both cases she's there. So that coincides with your final point of Violet going against her. Now that was your part, that was your take, and I'm gonna take one more point from you. But before I do, I want to quickly go to Minerva's redemption story. You see, there's only one way Minerva can redeem herself in community's eyes, because at this point literally no one is well, apart from few people, no one is expecting anything, or let alone redemption, from her. So there's only one way that, from my opinion, that could actually work with her, is if she gives her life. And we talked about this at on Sif's channel as well. You can check that out, I'll put the link in the description. That if she gives her life for the safety of the school kids, aka Violet, Clementine, and AJ, and before giving her life she gives something memorable, she gives us memorable line or sentence that the community can remember after her death. Now that is something that I would call the perfect redemption story. That would be the best thing they can pull off for this final season, and that could potentially set up an emotional roller coaster, because we already know the ending for the final season is going to be emotional. If writers can cry at their own writing, they said that on Twitter, that I was literally crying at writing the final season's ending. Think about the player who knows nothing of what's gonna happen. So that's the only way I can see her redeeming herself, and I could see it happening, and I want it to happen. Maybe it's selfish, but that's one part. For Violet, she's done in other playthrough where you didn't save her. She's done in that part. In my opinion, there is literally nothing that's left that you could do with Violet. Imagine, okay, Sif, imagine Violet, you betrayed Violet. I mean, in her head, you betrayed Violet, and now she's with Minerva, and now Minerva gives her life for our safety. What's gonna happen after that? Because Violet is in the beginning stages of that brainwash process. Minerva is dead. Violet is there being brainwashed with us. What's next for her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't talk her out of that. No, I mean, it could happen, but no, that's way too awkward, and that's way too inconsistency in the story writing. And I don't think that Kent Muddles, you know, with the direction of Kent Muddle, they would go that far as to not caring about this particular stuff. Because Lewis and Violet are important characters, the story revolves around them. So I cannot see that happening. So in my opinion, she's done in that playthrough. The other one, I think they're setting up both Lewis and Violet for an emotional ending with Clementine and AJ. But again, we're talking about Violet and Minerva. So I think Violet and Minerva is gonna end on a really emotional part, where Minerva is gonna lose her life and Violet is gonna be there with tears in her eyes. That's my take, and that's kind of sort of what I'm seeing it happening. But also at the same time, I can also see Minerva and Violet making it back to the boarding school, continuing the story from there. So that's that. Now, one last thing I'm gonna ask you, Sif, so we can wrap this whole thing up. I reminded you earlier that I'm gonna pick one of your points, because you kept saying that in our podcast as well. Minerva character, she's brainwashed. That character, we've never seen that character in such a long time, and in a while, you can say, or ever. And she's got so much potential. She's like, there's so many things they could do with her at this point if she's alive. What do you think the best option for Minerva at this point? And keep in mind that I'm asking this from Violet Betrayal Path, you know, the one in playthrough where Violet doesn't like you at all. That playthrough, Violet and Minerva, what do you think is best option they could go for Minerva and that brainwashed Violet? Should they go for betrayal, even more betrayal, and killing them, or she should snap out back to the reality and do something? What do you think the best approach for Minerva?
Well, I guess the safest option would be a mixture of both, because like you make those 2 points that are very good points, and complete betrayal where, you know, you're just so brainwashed it's unreal. And then of course you have the other option, which of course is like you are brainwashed but now you're snapping out of it. Why can't you do a mixture? I'd personally prefer if it kind of lies towards more the brainwashed side, where it's just complete hope. There's no hope whatsoever, and it's just complete hopelessness. Because in my opinion, I think that would be a very good introduction. Not even an introduction, just an addition to the story. It'd be great, because think of the amount of conversations, the plot lines you can have because of Minerva's complete betrayal path. And of course you got Violet as well, who doesn't like you, and this will just provide so much tension in the episode. And considering that this is the last episode, having a lot of tension in the last episode, it is a common convention of, you know, finale episodes. So I would prefer if that happens, because it will always keep you uneasy, always keep you on your feet to see, you know, anyone can betray at any moment. You know, you can't be that safe, especially when it's the last episode and Clementine's death, and that topic of Clementine dying, and, you know, Clementine getting hurt and everyone betraying you. It keeps rising as, you know, the episode goes along. So in my opinion, I'd have to go towards a more betrayal path where, you know, Violet doesn't like you, Minerva's way too brainwashed to even snap out of it, because, you know, I guess you could have conversations with her that will potentially provide some sort of instance where you're like, okay, hold on, I just had this conversation with Minerva. Maybe she will snap out of it, but then the next conversation and the way she acts for the remainder of the episodes, it's like that stuff doesn't even affect her, because she's so deep in her own world where she's brainwashed. You know, her killing her sister, Sophie, was just so crazy, because it's like she was a traitor. She didn't want me to survive in the Delta. Let me kill her. And if she keeps progressing this mindset of her just, you know, being brainwashed, I think it will be a very different character. One of the few original characters we've had, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Again, your points are on fire today. As I mentioned before, that this is the final episode, this is the finale, so they gotta do the right thing. They gotta keep us on our toes, they gotta keep us on edge, they gotta do the unthinkables in this episode to really leave a mark, and not just for the Walking Dead community, but on the entirety of the story-driven narrative genre of video games. That should do it for today's video. That's about it that we could really talk about Minerva and Violet. Of course, there are so many things that we could go in details, but then again, I have to edit this and it's already more than what I expected originally. Final thoughts. I'm gonna ask you one question. Give me one word answer, just one word. You don't have to go in details, just one word answer. Minerva and Violet, who's gonna die? And who, if they're both gonna die, who's gonna die first?
Violet.
Why is that? One word.
Unpredictable.
Okay, and Minerva is gonna stay alive?
No.
Why is that? One word.
That's my final answer. You can take that.
Okay, that's fantastic. Really fantastic. Anyways, final thoughts?
Well, thank you so much, Mac, for allowing me to collaborate on your channel. It's been a pleasure, man. I love having these conversations. You know, Walking Dead is such a you know, a lovely game. You know, it's such a good game, and having conversations and discussions on it is great. But making collaborative videos on it is even better. So thank you so much. Please, guys, show him some support on the channel. Comment on this video if you liked it, of course, and just yeah, maybe you'll see us in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, please subscribe. We both need help. We got this disease. If you're not gonna subscribe to us, we're gonna die. Please subscribe and our disease will be cured. But that's about it. I will of course see you soon, and hopefully if this video gets 500 likes or even less, we're gonna do it regardless. What the freak is you talking about? And I will of course see you soon. So take care of yourself and your family. Stay humble and be careful. Check out our safe link in the description, and I will see you soon. Peace.